Hi everybody, my name's Mark, and I am posting a video about the medication risperidone, which I was on for roughly about, say, 2.5 years, somewhere in there. I started taking it, I guess, in August. I don't know if it was 2017 or I think it was 2017. I don't know, but I've been off it for like maybe 8 or 9 months now. I had a psychotic episode. I went to a psych ward for like a week, and they gave me risperidone among other medications, but I'll just keep this one with risperidone. Sure, a lot of people probably know it's an atypical antipsychotic, which is like the second generation versus like the first generation of like Thorazine and I think Haldol. I'm not really too sure of all of them. And the second generation is said to be safer, and then there's always that debate whether they're really safe or not. Um, but as far as its effectiveness to keep me leveled out, I would say it was very effective at that. Um, I wish I wasn't on it so long. Um, I was on. I started on I started on 1 milligram in the psych ward. Then I got bumped up to two. One in the morning, one at night. Um, After I got out, saw a psychiatrist, got bumped up to three, and then eventually got bumped up to four. So 2 in the morning, two at night. Um, like I said, like as far as its effectiveness to calm me down, I mean, it definitely did that. I just It was hard in a lot of ways, to focus like at work. I remember sitting there and like my head like going down and like trying to stay awake. Um, and I mean, I slept really well. I ate really well, which I needed at that time. Um, and then after I'd say, like I said, I was on it about 2.5 years, and then probably after about a year and a half, it kind of really stopped. It didn't really feel like it had as much of an effect. It kind of like gradually, I don't know, just kind of decreased, I guess. And then oh yeah, I gained a ton of weight. Like I went from like 185 pounds to like 240 pounds in like maybe like 9 to 12 months. Then I got blood work done, and my blood sugar, actually, the paper was right over there, but my blood sugar was like over 100. Cholesterol was close to 300. LDLs were high. Um, and yeah, well, then other stuff too, but um, that was mostly for I I never had it done before then, and I'm actually going to get blood work done again soon to see like what I'm at like without medication. So darn cat just came in, but yeah, so definitely like blood sugar and cholesterol, probably two things. Like weight gain, almost everybody from like reading in forums and stuff seems to gain weight, like with antipsychotics in general. I was kind of like able to tame it a little bit. Like it's not that like I lost weight, but I got to the point where it was like I could not gain any weight, which was like just exercise, hard exercise, probably 4 days a week, and really dieting, like no fast food. Um, just for supper, I just have like a piece of meat. I try to make it chicken or pork because beef is a little bit fattier. But so I would try to keep it pretty lean, and I would do fasting too. Like I would wake up and I'd skip breakfast and maybe just eat a salad for lunch or like something small, and then kind of eat supper and go to bed. Um, but like that craving for food like kind of went away. Like I know like when I first started taking it, it was like I just wanted to eat a lot. Um, and then it kind of like I said, like the effects kind of seemed for me to like kind of gradually decrease until it was like I didn't really feel like I was on anything at all. Which leads me to my next point, and this was the nightmare for me with risperidone was I was gaining all that weight. My you know, what do you call them? Statistics or whatever from the doctor came back, and he's like, yeah, he's like, we need to decrease your dose because you're like cholesterol is sky high. I was like, okay, so he decreased me to 3 milligrams. I forget if it was, I think it was 1 in the morning and 2 at night, or was it? Did he have me chop them in half and do like 1.5 and I can't remember how he did it. But I had like horrible insomnia. Mania came back. I mean, I was sleeping 2 to 3 hours a night. Um, I really started drinking like a lot. Um, I got real paranoid, um, high anxiety. I was afraid to leave the house. I mean, going to work, um, I felt like I was jumping out of my skin. It was horrible. It was unbelievably horrible. I mean, it was okay at first. I didn't mind it because I kind of felt like, oh, I feel like I feel zesty again. I'm all, happy and like I'm ready to go. And then after like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 days, it intensified like a lot, and it was freaking scary. Um, I actually ended up losing that job. Well, I also suffered from other issues, and through that, cat keeps coming in and out of here. Through that, I met another doctor, and he's like, "Why are you on this stuff?" And I told him, and he's like, "Wow," he's like, you shouldn't be on this for like this amount of time. He's like, I would only use this for, you know, like short-term treatment. And what I've read online, I'm no expert. I try to keep up like with antipsychotics and antidepressants and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I would only use this for, you know, short term, have an episode, whatever, take it. He didn't say how long. Um, but from like reading studies, I think it's like a couple months. Like that's all they've really tested it for, is like to use it for a few months, 3 years, 4, 6 months, whatever. So I don't know. And he's like, "Do you want to come off?" And I'm like, "Absolutely," And he's like, "Okay." And I was on other meds at the time, an antidepressant, Lexapro, and mood stabilizer, Lamictal. Lamictal I didn't mind. Lexapro didn't really do anything at all anyway. So like, yeah, just take me off it, And so I went off the risperidone first, and I was perfectly fine. Like I was so freaked out because of what happened when I went from 4 to 3 milligrams. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna flip out. I'm gonna go back in a psych ward. All this crazy shit's gonna happen. My mind's racing. Like I'm like so scared, and it was perfectly fine. Like I had some anxiety, you know, um, which I've had as long as I could remember anyway. Um, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. I went from 3 to 2. I did I actually kind of taper myself, which I never advise anybody should do. Because he took me down from 3 to 2, and I think I was to do it for like a month. And I did it for like a couple weeks, and I'm like, you know what, screw it. Like I feel fine. I'm gonna go from 2 to 1. And then I did that, waited like a week. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And then I waited another week, so it was 2 weeks, and I'm like, all right. And I think I went from 1 to 1/2. I think I did do that, and I cut like a half a pill. And like, I remember how I did. It was crazy. Like I was cutting pills like into little pieces, and I was taking, I guess, a 1/4 milligram in the morning and a 1/4 milligram at night. Um, just to kind of like taper it as slowly as possible. If I could have tapered it down to 0.125 in the morning and 0.125 at night, I would have done it. Um, but I forget what doses. I think I had 0.5 milligram pills, so I cut them into fours, which actually would have been 0.125. Or yeah, 0.5 all around. Yeah, point 0.5 a day, so point yeah, 0.25. I can't remember. I remember cutting pills up into tiny pieces, but anyway, I was okay. I was perfectly fine. I was catastrophizing the hell out of it, And, because of what happened when I went from 4 to 3, I thought this is going to be even worse exponentially. Like I'm going to be going off the walls. I'm going to be, God knows what's going to happen. I might end up in a psych ward again or in jail. But I was okay. So, like, I guess, in a nutshell, I can't believe I talked for 10 minutes. Um, Risperidol, effective drug. Yeah, definitely an effective drug, but with a lot of side effects too that you have to watch out for. And I mean, it's like seems to be that way. Like a lot of antipsychotics, like the weight gain. I know with men, sex drive. I've heard of with women too, like low libido. I think I said that right. Libido. Um, Sex drive, blood sugar, weight gain. That kind of stuff. Lethargic, tired, hypomania, or not hypomania, hyposomnia. So you're sleeping a lot. Um, Stuff like that. If it wasn't for the weight gain, and I think I was over medicated. I'm not a doctor, but like I said, I was falling asleep at work. To find the right balance, yeah, like I think it's not bad. It's just there's some real bad stuff you do have to pay attention to. So if you do take it, like just watch, like closely watch like your weight. Like if you can, maybe like go to the doctor before and like get your blood work. That's the word I was looking for before. I couldn't think of it. Get your blood work and, you know, so like what you are normally, and then you could like check, if you're like on the medication and it gets really bad and your cholesterol gets like mine where it's like close to 300. Um so I mean outside of that, um yeah, I mean I don't know. I've read causes men to grow breasts. Never happened to me. But I have read that does happen. So if your guy taking it, I don't know. It's probably something you'd want to think about. I wish I knew it before he gave me it because he didn't tell me that. I found out 2.5 years later when I went to my third doctor, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this makes men grow breasts. You want to get off it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I would. Please get me off of it." So yeah, like I don't know, but I guess that's all I got. I've rambled for long enough. Um, Thank you for listening to my video and take care.